Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Welcome everyone to the group chat brought to you by Overmark. I'm your host Daryl, and joining me today is Singwei. What's up, Singwei?
Hello. So when this goes out, it's going to be New Year, right? So should we say Happy New Year to everyone?
I think it will go out the week before New Year, but I mean around there lah. But Happy New Year, everyone!
Happy New Year! Congrats on
Hopefully,
surviving
2022. Yes, will be better and screw COVID. But yes, everybody take care. Today we're gonna talk about something very interesting. In fact, this is a topic that Singwei wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's about how do you develop a New Year resolution that actually works. So I won't hold too much suspense. I'll let Singwei take the floor and explain what that actually means.
Okay, I think for some people, before a year starts, it's like the New Year resolution period. Like you start listing out the goals that you want to achieve next year, which is like such an arbitrary moment, right? Because you can actually start listing out your goals anytime in the year. That's fine. I think that's good because everyone is a human instinct, like starting afresh. But usually, sometimes, like a New Year resolution will fail. Like you list out a goal, it doesn't last like long enough, and you just stop doing your New Year resolution goal. So why is it like that? I think you can share a bit also if you have ever failed your New Year resolution. But I think my experience is that yes, definitely have failed my New Year resolution, either because I wasn't determined enough, or my New Year resolution was just like too difficult to achieve, too overwhelming, no actionable steps. So just multiple reasons, and New Year resolutions slowly. I think in general, it's just something that cannot really achieve, right? I think for some people maybe can, but most people, New Year resolution does have the connotation of like just for fun during January, and after that no more already.
It's like the one you write down in your planner the night before New Year hits, and then you realize that you never followed through with it. Okay, but having said that, personally, I'm never a huge New Year's resolution person because for me, right, my goals start when I want to start it. So I think touching back on why people tend to fail their New Year's resolution, I think number one is there's a bit overly ambitious, right? So like you say, you want to completely overhaul something. But I think what we need to realize is that habits and your patterns, right, needs to be developed incrementally. It's not something that you can change overnight, which is why I think that New Year's resolution is always a bit too drastic for it to take place. So that's one reason. I think something else is about the fact that, when you set your goal and you put it not just very ambitious, but you want it to be immediate, right? Like next day, I'm going to do this. Maybe you can sustain it for a week or two. But in terms of the whole ecosystem or how it affects your lifestyle, it doesn't fit in. Because let's say you want to have a healthy lifestyle, right? And you're going to start like waking up at 8 o'clock to do yoga and go for a run or whatever. That's a good resolution. You might be able to do so. But if you don't correct the fact that you're sleeping at 3, 4 a.m., it's not sustainable to be waking up at 8 o'clock every day. So what I want to say here is that if you set a goal, right, it has to be more holistic. It cannot be a single goal that specifically I want to lose weight. But losing weight is like there's a lot of aspects to it. That you need to like exercise, you need to eat healthy, you need to watch the timing that you eat, no supper and stuff. But like what I'm trying to say is that it cannot be a single goal, but it has to be a more holistic one. So Singwei, what do you think?
I think so. I have something to share here, right? I think it does have a very good link to what Daryl just said. So same as Daryl, I was never a New Year resolution person because I think New Year resolution will fail. And if I really want something, I don't have to wait until New Year to set the goal. Like, what if I think of something in March? Then am I gonna wait until like next year, January, to set the New Year resolution? That's just fundamentally flawed. Okay, fundamentally flawed. So what I've been doing is this one word, not what I have been doing, is I started doing last year. So for 2021, my 2021 New Year resolution was just one word. Like you find that one word, everyone's word is going to be different. It depends on what kind of person that you want to grow into. 2021 was like kind of a new year. It's quite a important year for me because I just graduated. I kind of like just entered the workforce and everything. So my word was like, just one word is build. BUILD. Yeah. So that was my word. And that word is the word that I'm going to work towards in like 2021. So all my decisions will be based on that word. So for example, I want to build my career. I want to, so when I'm working and everything, I'll be like, oh, but I'm lazy, like I want to slack. I hope my colleague don't hear this podcast, but I'm thinking of, okay, no, but I want to build my career, right? So there will be a few things within the building career. There's a few sub points, but those are not like hard and fast, like, oh, I must achieve them. If not, I fail my New Year resolution. Those are more like steps to achieve the word build. Like I built my career. Second is I built my savings. So don't spend so much money. Don't like every time online shopping, you know. That kind, it's also an important thing, right? When you're adulting, you will know lah. Money is like need to build one, hard to earn. So build savings. So and there will be a few steps where I try to achieve that as well. And then lastly, like what Daryl said, of course, everyone's New Year resolution will have something to do with health, right? Exercise more. But I won't list like, oh, I want to gym every day. I want to like wake up to run 10 km every day. No, like I just want to build my body to be healthier. So I try to sleep earlier. So the actionable step is like try to sleep healthier, try to sleep earlier, and try to eat healthier, and then also work out more. Yeah. So those are not really my goals, but those are like steps to achieve that word. And you find your own word, and yeah, then you find your own like few sub points from that word. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite interesting. It's a bit similar to my own approach because for me, when we think about goals, right, I think it's a bit, I don't really like the word goals because goals brings connotation to it that like if you hit the goal already, then what, right? So it's like if you have a specific goal, right, that you want to like I don't know, like your career, you want to promote to manager. Then once you hit manager, then what? Right? Cannot be like your whole motto, like your whole system that you're built with is just to reach that goal, then stop there, man. Cannot be, right? So for me, I always approach a New Year's resolution in terms of more of a reflective process of what I want to become, right? So I mean, yours is the one word. For me, is about thinking of what kind of person I want to be, right? I want to be more empathetic, right? Listening to others. I want to be more driven, right? Being more motivated towards my goals. I think those are all descriptive words that I try to use because that to me is more continuous. It's a work in progress, right? I'm always trying to get better on a certain aspect of myself rather than to work towards specific goals. Now, of course, to be more driven, to be more healthy, to be more balanced, all of this requires certain actions. And that's when the going to the gym part comes in, or like sleeping early comes in. But I think those are all a subset, right? I don't think of those as my main action. And if I think of those as my main action, it is always going to be very temporal and it's not very sustainable because you don't really know your why. Why am I sleeping early? Because I want to be healthy. But what's the purpose, right, behind being healthy? It's because you want to feel good, So instead of trying to think of, I want to build towards healthy, I try to think of well-being, right? I want to be more balanced in terms of my work ratio to my rest ratio and stuff like that. So I was never really a fan of goals. And I think that if you want to work towards the kind of person you hope to be remembered as, right? A lot of it starts from developing the right habits. So these habits, effectively a human being, if you want to break it down in a very systematic style, humans are simply beings of their habits, which means if you have throughout the day, right, it's impossible to be constantly thinking of what you're going to do. In fact, a lot of things you do are subconscious, and these are built by your habit. Like you wake up, you brush your teeth, you go to school, a lot of these things are instinctive because your brain capacity is actually limited. You can only do so much thinking for the day. A lot of other processes are habitual, like swiping Instagram, even that's a habit, right? So for me, it's about thinking based on what I hope to achieve, right? My broad goal. What are the habits I need to develop in order to attain that, right? So if it's health, it means more exercise. It means that if it means being more driven, it means lesser distractions and being more focused on my jobs. Then I know what exactly I have to work towards. So for me, a lot of time is about developing the right habits. And these habits, they don't come easy. I think it takes time, but I think incrementally building the right habits will go a long way. All right. Xingwei, for you, right, are there any real life examples you can share?
Real life example that like what I shared just now, right? Like the build and like that one word resolution instead of the goals. I think like what Daryl said, it is like incremental steps, right? I think that is exactly what I think it has a very same ideology between like two of our New Year's thinking.
It's like our packaging is different.
Yeah, but the idea is the same, is that we celebrate progress. It's not like one goal, like 4 to 5 times, like run 4 to 5 times every week. Then once you fail 1 week, right? Like 1 week you didn't run 4 to 5 times, then you'll be like, okay, I'm out of this. Like I don't care about this goal anymore. Right? I think it's like celebrating the progress and working towards not a one sentence, one action, but rather like a very big picture. I want to build something. I want to build my life. For you, it's like you have your other goal, but it's a broad idea. Yeah. Real life example. Real life example. I think this year like there was a lot of change in terms of like I think COVID. Then like we just graduated. Then like transiting into work. I think there's a lot of like getting used to like new routine. Yeah, and I think Daryl brought a super good point is that you realize that a lot of your like waking hours is controlled by habit. It is not like you're like always thinking of what you're gonna do. Yeah, it's controlled by habit. And I think I make it I think building the routine, like I'm quite a routine person. Like today do what? Like this time to this time do what? This time do what? I think building the routine and then sticking to the routine has come into my system. Yeah. So which helps me to the routine is what I said, right? The routine is my habit. And that is like I consciously build that. But once I finish building that, I'm done. I just have to like go with the flow. Yeah. And I think I managed to set a not like 100% like good, but I did manage to set some like feel good things along the way. Yeah. Like what you mentioned, like work rest ratio, exercise, still being active, even though like, a lot of people after graduate, then they just never exercise already. Yeah. Still exercise, still exercising.
I think I think we are all like on the same track. I hope that our listeners, y'all think of this deeper, because it really affects more than, I know we are usually an academic podcast, but I thought today's topic was really interesting and something that we wanted to share. And
yeah,
of course, in whatever way you think is applicable to your life, try it and you'll see a huge difference. Okay, but I think moving on, right? I think really interesting is Xingwei, on a personal basis, I want to know. So what is your one word resolution for next year? And then maybe I can share mine after.
Next year. So actually I really like the word build, but I think I was ready to build one more year, but I think I did well enough this year that I'm okay. I'm done with this build phase.
So you reached already, yeah?
Haven't yet. Haven't yet. Still building. But need to have new goals, ma. Like I think I can still use the same word, but okay, so build is still gonna be my resolution, but I have one more word to it. It's
build
sustain.
faster.
Sustain not easy, like because the process of building is quite tiring, and sometimes it's so tiring that like you will feel like giving up. So so the second word of the year other than build is sustain. To sustain this hard work, to sustain this kind of progress. Yeah.
Biotutor, sustain, right? Photosynthesis, life. Need to sustain the organism.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. So sustain is my second word. Build will still be my word, but I want to add one more is sustain, because need to remember all the progress and then sustain the progress. Yeah.
Important. I think for myself, the word that I'm hoping to achieve is enjoy. So I'm always a very like motivated person. I have very like big like dreams that I want to accomplish. Like back in my university day, I know that this is what I want to do. Then now I'm graduated, I know what I want to do. But I realized that I'm not the kind of person that lives in the moment enough, right? That I work so hard to achieve to a certain goal, right? Like I'm trying to hit that point. But once I hit it, I'm already thinking of the next step, right? I don't really go through the process of enjoying the fruits of my labor And I realized that this is something I actively want to work on. So my keyword for the year is enjoy. More of not saying enjoy and like indulge, but more of enjoying the moment, enjoying the progress, and enjoying life. I think learning to love life is important. I know all of us, we have work, we have our own stresses, things in life that we if we have a choice, we might not want to do it. But I think there are a lot of other moments in life that we need to learn to be appreciative of, to enjoy those moments before they are gone forever, right? So for me, it's like, even if I get a small snippet of time to spend with my loved ones or with my friends, I really want to immerse myself and just enjoy, right? And to not worry beyond the next moment of what's going to happen, or things that, I don't want to let it affect my life, but I just want to enjoy everything. I think life, that's something that I've always been lacking, and that's my keyword for the year.
Well, that's great. I think that is great. I think very important, and I'll remind you along the way next year. Like, Daryl is a workaholic, so I think that is a great word. That's a great word.
Just to share a bit of context, at least specifically for Overmark, right? So like when it started, it was just like a small thing. And then I was like, I shared to my whole team of tutors at the start of last year, right? In December. Then I was like, guys, let's try to build something. And then I was like hoping to build towards a much larger platform with more students in our community, and to launch crash courses that can help a lot more students, right? And then when I reached that moment, I'm really thinking of the next step, like how can we help more students, right? But I felt to really enjoy the fact that we had such a huge reach and we're doing so much good. And that when I was conducting crash courses, I actually really enjoyed it. But I was always so stressed in terms of how can I make the crash course better for my students, or how can I make my group tuitions more engaging, that I sort of forgot to enjoy the process of teaching. Because for me, I feel like I'm a very like teaching kind of person. Like not necessarily as a teacher, but in general, I just like mentoring, right? Helping people to grow and to become better versions of themselves. So sometimes I forget about that. And I think that throughout my upcoming year, I want to go through that. And whatever we manage to build Overmark to be, I want to enjoy the process too, and to enjoy it with other people as well, so that it's a very wholesome process where everybody is like actively growing this community together. And I thought that would be wonderful. Yep. So I think here we have shared our New Year's resolution. We're really curious about yours. So if you have a one word, right, and you're watching this on YouTube, right, share your one word.
And I think,
yeah, that would be pretty cool, right? So we
I
can
think
all
that's
see.
very cool, and it can bounce off ideas also, because I think it took me I know build is a very simple word, but it took me quite long to find my word. I think usually it will take some time to find your word as well, because it's just one word, you cannot list out many words. It's just one word. So yeah, bounce off idea with each other. Like, what's your word? You can think about what's your word, what kind of person you want to be. Just write it out, like write a lot of words, and then choose eventually the one that works for you. Yeah, it will be very exciting.
I'm gonna start calling you Bob, the
What?
builder.
Oh my god, no.
Okay, but I thought that today's session was kind of wholesome. Of course, we wish everybody a happy new year, but more importantly, hopefully our talk on a New Year's resolution is something that will actually work for you. Okay, and with that, we come to the end of today's podcast. Of course, if you're on Spotify, please follow us. And if you're listening on YouTube, please leave a comment, right? And leave us a like, and we'll be more than appreciative. Xing, any last words before we go off?
Happy 2022, everyone. Hope it works out for all of you.
Yes, don't forget to spend time with your loved ones. Learn to express your love and affection. Don't be shy about it. Cherish your friends. Health over everything else. Mental and physical health. And wish you an exciting year ahead. Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
It sound right, boy.